Hi Virgo, my name is Audrey Alison. Thank you for joining me for your October 2016 forecast for the month. I am happy to be here. Thank you for subscribing to this channel and for your support on my Facebook page, Audrey Alison Astrology and Tarot. I'm using the Alchemical deck by Robert M. Place, my go-to deck. If you choose me for a reading, this is the deck I will be reading you with. Let's start our month. We are having square upon square in October, so there is some discord underlying throughout October. But let's start with our transits. And by the way, I'm not in the backyard today, I'm in the front because the tree was cut down in the backyard and there's no protection from the sun. It's sweltering back there. I can barely walk on the deck. There's no shade at all, so I'm trying to take cover under the front porch. So we'll see how this goes. Let's start with our first transit. On the 7th of October, we have Mercury entering Libra. And when he does so, he will be conjunct the Sun and Jupiter, who are stationed in Libra. And Jupiter will be there for a full year through the 10th or the 1st of October of 2017. And you love this, Virgo, because your finances are really lit up. Your self-worth, self-value, your money, your budget, the earnings that you're receiving, it's all in this sign of Libra. So with Mercury there, communications about money, analyzation, budgeting, review, analysis of the funds, where's your money going? Conjunct the Sun and Jupiter, it's definitely going in a large direction. There is expansion in this sector, and if it's not happening right away, give it some time. You know, energy doesn't just happen the minute the planets enter that sector. This could take the year, but throughout the year you should see some extra benefits. And not only that, you'll have the faith and optimism to believe you can accrue. You can do this. That is Jupiter. He makes you very optimistic. That's the kind of time when you leave your day job and you start, your own business. You could see a lot of benefit from these three planets, personal planet energy, having a party in your second house. And, enough with the negative self-talk too. When Jupiter's conjunct the Sun here, which isn't often, this is like once every 12 years type of thing. And that's not necessarily meaning that Mercury is going to be there as well. But with Jupiter conjunct the Sun in the second, you can stop with any negative self-talk and the self-deprecation and being the brunt of the joke in a way. This is really boosting the ego and actually giving you the self-confidence that you need. And I like that for Virgo, because Virgo isn't too outwardly boastful. So this could really work for you in a sign of Libra, the sign of balance. Having a balance there as well is important. Now on the 16th, we have our full moon, and this is at 23 degrees of Aries. And this is in your 8th house. So the full moon is illumination, culmination in the sector it resides. And the 8th house is shared resources. And since your 2nd house is affected in the top too and throughout the whole month, the whole year with Jupiter, you're coming to terms, or you're realigning the money, because a full moon in the 8th could see you put an end to a certain amount of shared resources or how you were investing it, have some closure with maybe a 401k or an IRA. You're shifting money around, you're analyzing the money, because this will be in opposition to Mercury. There is a lot going on in the 8th house of shared resources, but this is also the 8th house of intimacy. So it'll apply to Virgo differently, and it can't all be the same way for every Virgo. And I'm telling everyone to watch your ascendant sign and watch your moon sign videos, because people are drawing a little bit from each sign and incorporating it into their full scope. So that might work for you as well. With the full moon in the 8th, you could put an end to an intimate endeavor as well. You could find that maybe one of your sexual partners, or your sexual partner, not one of, I don't know, whatever you're into, you could find that you're just not really feeling the intimate connection anymore, and this full moon might put a close to that rendezvous. This could also be about, loss for those Virgos who have been dealing with someone that's passed. A full moon in the 8th house of death allows for that transition to occur in your life. So my heart goes out to people who have lost any family members. I feel like, healing through loss is something that we all struggle with. I think death is the main fear in life. So not reacting and just really internalizing it and processing it at your own pace. There is no time for grief. People grieve differently, and I don't know why I'm really saying this. I'm taking it here, but perhaps there are some Virgoans who are dealing with loss in a very strong way right now. Take your time with it is what I want to say. And no one can tell you to hurry up and feel better, to speed it up. You have to do what feels right for you. And if that is continuing to mourn, and that is exactly what it is, that's what you have to do. Now, on the 18th, Venus makes her transit into the sign of Sagittarius, and this will be conjunct Saturn, and this is in your 4th house of mother and environment, foundation, your deep roots, where you come from is the 4th house, your foundation. This could be very literal. It could be that some Virgos are beautifying the home, females in the home, Venus ruling the women. It could be that the maternal energy in your family is connecting at this point, and conjunct Saturn, there has been some limiting experiences in the 4th house, or some restriction in the 4th house of home. But with Venus there's a harmony now. There's a restoring of balance in this sector, if this was a little tilted with Saturn being there. Because Saturn is very oppressive. He has you under his thumb, and you might find that maybe your own home or your own four walls are too confining. And Venus comes in and she's like, we can make this work. We can make this pretty again. Let's get some nice fabrics and textures and artwork, because she rules all of that. And maybe you're just applying this in a very simple way into your environment. Maybe it goes deeper. Maybe you are actually having to smooth over the relationship with your maternal mother. Maybe it's that there is now money, which is also Venus, applying to the home, building onto the home. On the 22nd, it's all about Scorpio now, because the sun will enter Scorpio, and then your 3rd house of communications is lit up, Virgo. So the sun enters Scorpio on the 22nd, then 2 days later on the 24th, Mercury enters Scorpio in this 3rd house. And on the 30th, 6 days after that, we have our new moon in Scorpio at 7 degrees of Scorpio in the 3rd house. So the sun and Mercury leave Jupiter in Libra, and they head on into Scorpio, Mercury making up for lost time after the retrograde. And now it's all about communications for Virgo, details, analysis. You love this because, Mercury being your ruling planet, you are all things communication. You are the writer. You are the detail-oriented perfectionist. And you like this. This actually makes you feel good. It's not a burden. You like fine-tooth combing a plan and an itinerary, which you could easily be doing in local travel. 3rd house of local travel. You could be going away on short trips. This is also the relationship with your siblings in the 3rd house. Maybe some of you are smoothing over something with the maternal thing in the 18th with the mother, with Venus there, and then you're getting onto the siblings. There could be a total connection now with family. This could also be a new vehicle in the 3rd house, the chariot, the new ride. This could be learning local areas, local school, and study with Mercury in the 3rd house of school, not higher education, not BAs or master degrees or certifications like that, but this is more like local study and community programs and grade school, high school, or even classes in community colleges. Or what's the word I'm looking for? When you take a course just for fun, that it's not for credits, just to learn. So the new moon on the 30th, I love this. I'm saying this in the readings because I was inspired that it's just such a witchy new moon falling on Mischief Night. I don't know if they have that here in SoCal. I don't think we have Mischief Night here, but in Jersey, on the East Coast, the 30th is Mischief Night. And the night before Halloween, everyone goes out, goes nuts, and teepees houses and does all sorts of crazy things. So not that I'm at all telling you to do that, but having the new moon on this night is great for Wiccans and people who study the Celtic, nature religions, because they consider Samhain their New Year's Day, and to have a new moon on that eve before is pretty spectacular because they don't do January 1st as the new year. It's Halloween, the 31st of October. But set your intentions, Virgo, and keep them in the third house because that would have the most potent energy for you. Third house of local travel, siblings, vehicle, communications, study. Now, throughout the whole month, there is that square upon square energy that I mentioned in the beginning. And this has a lot to do with Mars being stationed on top of Pluto in Capricorn on the 12th of October through the 4th of November. These two planets will be within that 9 degrees of each other. That's distance enough to be activated. There's dissipation after 9 degrees of the square, but Mars is conjunct Pluto exactly and squaring Uranus in Aries. And this is just combustible energy. And on a global level, this really suggests some natural kind of disaster, or maybe just an earthquake here or there, or a volcanic eruption, because Mars is heat, fire, anger, and aggression. And Pluto is destruction and death and loss, and Uranus is upheaval and electricity. And these planets squaring is discord and not harmonious, and they're 90 degrees away from each other. For you, on a solar level, this is the 5th house where Capricorn is and the 8th house where Aries is. So there could be discord between your intimate relationships and your new romance. Could be a balance or discord between children in your life and the 8th house of shared resources and the money required to provide for the children. There could be discord in creative endeavors and the shared resources around them. It can apply in so many different ways, but how I'm interpreting Mars conjunct Pluto squaring Uranus through the 4th of November, there could be something in the northern hemisphere in the States politically that is happening here. Due to the timing of this going through the election day, I feel like there could be an upheaval and people are going to be all over the place. So let's get to the tarot. I'll see what comes up for Virgo. If you'd like to read with me, I'm at audreyalison.com. I read all through the week, and you would select your desired reading length via the PayPal button, and I'll get back to you in an email in a day or two. Allow me the time. I do get every payment that comes through, although I don't reply to all of the emails I receive, but I will reply to my orders because I am inundated with emails on a daily basis from 5 different media streams. So as much as I would love to just answer everyone's comment and get back to every email, I really don't have the time or energy. I have to really focus on the people paying for readings because that is my profession, my sole profession. So, and I love doing it, so I want to give them my undivided attention. But again, if you'd like to book with me, select your order. You will receive an email from me with some times, and we can set it up. All right, Virgo, first card, the moon. talk about the 8th house, this is mystery, psychic ability, the occult. The moon is your emotions. Let's see what else comes up. It's also giving me the indicator of a timeline here, depending on what follows after. Probably the new moon of Halloween, because this is the new moon here. Let's see. Oh, and it's the new moon in Scorpio, and I know that's a crab for Cancer, because this card has Cancerian energy, but it is a crustacean, so it's reminding me of the ocean and Scorpio, you know. And it has those little pinchers like Scorpio, so they're probably talking about that new moon. It makes more sense than the full moon in a fire sign. The 7 of Coins, the obelisk, going through stages of transformation, the 7 chakras, earnings, promotion. Now, your work sectors aren't activated, but you could be going through some monetary change between the 2nd and 8th house, which is extremely activated. And the obelisk is just that, transformation, change. And I thought that you might have been rebudgeting or doing something to shift the money. Let's see what else comes up. The Lovers. This is the sign of Gemini in the Tarot. It's also romance. It could be sex, attraction, 8th house, the full moon in the 8th house, also where Uranus is stationed, surprise attraction. The Lovers could also be a decision, and it could be a triangle. With the Lovers, there's always 2 lovers on the card, but there's always the angel above them for the triangle, the trine. So you could be maybe making a decision in your love life. And now we have the 3 of Coins. This is the artist getting paid for artistic endeavors. I'm getting that for those Virgoans in the 3rd house of writing, this, I mean, I know that he's painting something, but in a way, he's got the plume in his hand, and, you know, your 3rd house is lit. So if you want to get something published, if you want to create something, anything that's expressed through the hand, through the laptop, through the fingers, anything from sculpting to writing, I would suggest starting this around the 22nd of October, and this could last all through November. You have another card here. Yes. This is just basically validating. Yes. The Ace of Swords is a yes card, but with positive thinking, clear thinking too, not nebulous. You know, you need to be very clear and sober with the Ace of Swords, and focused. And this is a successful card. It's a card of yes, and being in your right mind. And I like that it ended on that. So, you know, this new moon in the 3rd house, and I said 3 people on here, and then I said 3 coins here. So there's 3, there's this trine vibe happening here. Some of you, not all of you, some Virgos have a decision to make around the end of the month on the new moon regarding the love interest, the intimacy interest. This isn't about marriage. This is for the people who are, you know, dating, in relationships, not committed by law. Just people who are taking it easy breezy and trying to figure out, you know, if this works for them or not. You're making a singular decision by the end of the month, I would think. And you know, you might choose your 3rd house and your of work and communications, and go for something that's going to give you more earnings between the 2nd and the 8th house. If you're choosing between jobs, that is. I would pick the one that gives you the sense of stability and security financially. And that's not my personal advice at all, because in fact, if we were just having drinks, I would probably just tell you the opposite of that, and just as Audrey. But as an astrologer and an intuitive and interpreter of this energy, pick the job that provides you the most financial security due to there's only 2 financial sectors in the 12 houses. Both of them are activated for you this month, and in several different areas. And you've got 3 major players in your 2nd house. So I would say, yes, you're going to decide is to cut 2 things in half, to side. So you've got to weigh the pros and cons here, but I think you're going with more security around the time of the new moon in Scorpio. All right, Virgo, I hope this was helpful for you. I'm wishing you a sweet October, and remember, the sky is limitless, so reach for the stars.